This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro Insight for the week of July 1st, 2019. It's going to be a hell of a month. This week is incredibly active and hectic, no matter that there's a holiday in the United States in the middle of it. Lots of many important movings and crankings of astrological gears. First, everyone's kind of moving out of whiny poor me, inner child on the rampage behavior for a little while into I want what I want and I'm just going to go for it. Boldness, courageousness, a desire to socialize. Nice, since a lot of people who are listening to this will be getting a holiday in the middle of the week and probably hanging out with other people. Mars, the planet that rules our action, the superhero planet, is moving into Look at Me, Leo, which likes to strut its stuff. It can be bold, it can be courageous, it can fight for what it wants, it can draw attention like crazy. Now, Mars and Mercury, the planet of communication, are traveling together for a little bit. Last week, they were together at the end of Cancer, which I realize in retrospect was why so many people had just very terrible, horrible, I'm going to go eat worms kind of days. Someone actually suggested to me that I go outside, dig a hole, crawl in it, and eat worms. That's how bad I was. So now we've got the same kind of vibe, the same kind of collaboration of think it and then do it, blam, going on, except it's a little more playful, a little more outgoing and less self-pitying. And Mars and Mercury are both headed into a collision with change maker Uranus. And this is going to be in the sky at the new moon, which is Tuesday, and this is no ordinary new moon. The Cancer new moon is a solar eclipse, and it's very, very close to the United States sun. Any eclipse in Cancer is going to be important whether or not you've got something in your chart that's being hit, because the Cancer-Capricorn axis involves really fundamental issues in our lives. Nurturing versus providing, who's the mommy, who's the daddy, obligations at home, the desire to be connected to people, and then also pursuing responsibilities out in the world, being very goal-oriented, the complete opposite of mommy stuff, nurturing, the complete opposite of emotionality, cold, focused practicality. A solar eclipse always resets. It's like installing a new operating system, and when you do that, you know that your computer goes down and reboots, so everything is black for a period. There will be things that leave. You're probably already sensing what they're going to be. There's also an element of changing of the guard, passing the torch. Interesting that that phrase was used publicly in recent history, passing the torch from one generation to the next. And something happening extraordinarily suddenly because of Mercury and Mars slamming against Uranus. This has a force of a switch going down and bam, things are clear, things change. High volatility, take very good care of yourself. Right after the new moon, which, by the way, is going to play out for us since it's an eclipse, probably into the end of the year, I'm going to say, our social interactions move a bit back into the touchy-feely, tender sensitivity that we have been experiencing with Venus, love goddess and ruler of everything we value, moving into the sign of Cancer. Comfort food alert. This is definitely kiss the boo-boo and make it better kind of energy. Clucking, nurturing, nesting, wanting to take care of the objects of our devotion. And as all these influences are taking the stage, there's still this undercurrent of huge forces of change. Saturn, planet of adulting, lord of karma and time and structure and order and the status quo. Saturn is hanging out at the doorway to the past. And he's very close to Pluto, the lord of metamorphosis. What this basically means is the cosmic alarm clock is going off. There are things that must be repackaged, put in a different form, discarded, sorted through, reorganized. So as the switches are going off and you're feeling this emotional rebooting and your concept of family is moving into a new stage, and everyone is heading for their own personal equivalent of an ice cream cone and wanting to share it with the people closest to them, while this is all going on, we are dealing with stuff. Big stuff. Things that we have ignored, things that we've been meaning to get to. This month, the time is here for dealing with certain matters once and for all. And particularly for repackaging the past. As I am talking, I'm hearing power tools going out in the neighborhood that weren't going on when I started recording, and it's kind of appropriate that there's this background noise, background deconstruction. Something's being cut down, something's being reshaped off in the distance. There's a metaphor for you for this week. And don't worry if you can't tackle everything this week, because Mercury, the planet that rules how we communicate, what we communicate, and how we get around, goes retrograde on the 7th in the early degrees of Leo. And over the course of the month, he's going to slide back into Cancer. And at the end of the month, on the 31st, when he stations direct, he will do this at the very location of the full moon that we'll have in 2 weeks on the 16th, which is a lunar eclipse. This retrograde affords the opportunity to go back over not just what was happening in the last few weeks when Mercury was traveling over the degrees that he will revisit, but it also allows us to discover information about our emotional reactions, about the non-rational components of what has been transpiring. It gives us the opportunity for emotional do-overs. Do know, however, that there will be an incredibly high likelihood of taking things personally. So the confusion that is always part of a Mercury retrograde is going to have a component this time of quick reactions, quick emotional reactions that possibly cause and that definitely add to misunderstandings, lack of clarity, confusion. Homing thought of the week. Nurturing myself comes first. Song of the week. We're opening doors from the Stephen Sondheim musical, Merrily We Roll Along. And the image of the week is a thunderclap and a lightning strike that part the clouds. I have lots of goodies for you this week. In honor of the United States getting a solar eclipse for its birthday, I have a talk Tuesday, July 3rd. What's up with the U.S.? The registration link is at the classes page at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, and the recording will be available for sale afterwards. I also have a talk on the same page, Rethinking Home and Security, the Cancer Capricorn eclipses of 2019 and 2020. And don't forget the Retrogrades of Summer 2019 guide in the shop at my site. Additionally, my guide to handling Mercury retrograde is available at Om Times. I will have the links for all of these in the box below this podcast. And again, my site is empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. You'll find bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl. And I'm deeply grateful to the people who are supporting my work there. Follow me on Instagram at @KA on Facebook at Empowerment Unlimited and the group The Astro Insight Lounge, and on YouTube at The Professional Aquarian Channel. Talk to you next week.